We've heard it all before. We've heard all that before. But that's just the way it is. The system is too big. The systems are too big. The world is too broken, and our place in it way too small. But as Mr. Bruce Hornsby reminds us, and I know a lot of your hearts jumped when you heard that first piano line, just like mine does, reminds us that in the song we just heard, we cannot believe them. Don't you believe them? That's the message. This is a sermon about refusing that illusion as well. Because there is something infinite within you, something sacred and immeasurable, that was never meant to accept the world as it is, but to help shape it into what it could be. Now, as you've already heard twice already, and it was designed like that, a good friend of mine, Mr. Emerson, once declared, I have only one doctrine, the infinitude of the individual soul, the boundless depth of dignity and potential within every person. This was no small statement for Emerson. This was no half thought, no polite philosophy. This was a spiritual earthquake in his time. Because Emerson was saying, you are more than you appear. You are more than your employment. You are more than your bank account, your successes or failures. You are more than the names others have called you. And I know we have heard this all before, like throughout all of our schooling and our parents and all the people that love us. You're more than your successes. But have you heard this? You are in your quiet center, infinite. Let that sit with you for a moment. Not metaphorically infinite, not poetically infinite, but truthfully, actually, ontologically, big word, sorry, infinite, like really infinite. You, right now, just as you are, in youth group, I'm really talking to you and I can see you online and here. Right now, just as you are, not once you've cleaned your room, not once you've been accepted to Harvard, not once the world finally approves, but right now, you are infinite. Now let's be honest. Most of us have heard the opposite our whole lives, as in be realistic, stay in your lane, don't get too big, don't believe too much in yourself, because these selves, at the very core of their being, are depraved, totally depraved, some kind of depravity that we can't overcome. And this gets into our bones. It kind of gets into our bones, doesn't it? Especially if you grow up in this kind of world. This idea that we're only worth what we produce, that we have to earn our belonging, that our light has to be dimmed so we don't offend. But Emerson says, no, absolutely not. You are not a small thing. You are a living channel of boundless life. You are not the echo of someone else's truth, but you, in fact, are a source. When he says the infinitude of the individual soul, he doesn't mean isolated or selfish. Emerson gets accused of that a lot. He means inward, the infinitude within, the unrepeatable, uncontainable, irreducible you. Youth group, are you listening? The self that no one else has ever been. The self that only you could know. And he calls that self infinite. We don't talk like that very often. I know in our culture, in our politics, even in our spiritual lives, we shrink the soul. We don't even use the word. We package it, we commercialize it, we confine it. But what if your soul is not a ghostly, fragile thing to debate about, but a river of energy, of mystery, of wild, sacred possibility? Wild, sacred possibility. What if the light you're looking for outside of you is already burning at the center of your being? That's Emerson's gospel. Not that someone else will save you, but that the something in you is already free. Now let's be clear. To be infinite doesn't mean to be flawless. It means to be ever unfolding. Infinitude doesn't mean you never fall or fail. It means you never stop growing. You are not fixed. This is important. You are not fixed. You are not finished. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a universe to be explored. A universe to be explored. We spend so much of our time trying to fix ourselves, trying to improve instead of trying to remember. What if the spiritual life isn't about self-improvement, but about self-communion, about sitting quietly with that inner voice, that voice beneath the fear and the performance, and hearing it say, you are already enough. I know we hear that all the time, but what if we did it and we believed it? That's what we mean in this tradition when we say spiritual growth. Not climbing some ladder of holiness, but opening again and again to the sacred within you. You're not here to impress, you're here to unfold. Now, you might ask, and you should ask, especially this community should ask, what does all this mean in the face of injustice? Glad you asked. What does your infinitude mean when the planet is warming? When racism endures? When children go hungry? When cruelty is rewarded? It means this: you are not powerless. You were not born to spectate. You were born to participate. Your sacredness is not a private escape, it's a source of strength for the work ahead. And we're gonna do some work in coming of age in the next year. The world needs your infinite self, not your polite self, not your polite self, not your obedient self, but your wild, courageous, luminous self. That's what this community needs. That's what the world needs. Your wild, courageous, luminous self. The part of you that knows love is worth fighting for. The part of you that refuses to become numb. The part of you that feels everything and chooses to care anyway. It's not an accident that the great movements for justice have often begun with people who remembered their sacredness against all odds, who said, I am not small, even when the world tried to shrink them or the world continues to try to shrink them. Greta Thunberg is an excellent example. Amanda Gorman, if you don't know who Amanda Gorman is, please go read her poetry. Michelle Obama, Brian Stevenson, Stacey Abrams, Tarana Burke. If you don't know who Tarana Burke is, go read about Tarana Burke. But not during the message. All of them heard something deeper. They heard it. They paid attention inside. And they acted. This is the thing. This is what makes them different. They acted from that place. They acted from that place. Emerson didn't retreat from the world. He called us to meet it with our whole selves, to be so alive inside that the world around us starts to move. To be so alive inside that the world around us starts to move. And I just want to tell you that a congregation full of people who know they are infinite is not a church, it is a revolution. So what are we doing here this morning in this space? We're not here to perform religion. We're not here to memorize creeds. We're here to awaken every Sunday, to wake each other up, to remind each other of the truth we so easily forget. That deep inside each person is a truth that no one else can speak. In every person, a truth that no one else can speak. That the sacred is not something we visit, but something we carry. We are a people who believe in the dignity of every person, not as a nice idea, but because we know there is no one whose soul is less infinite than ours. I want you to hear that. There is no one whose soul is less infinite than ours. That's why we do this work. That's why we build this community and take it out into the world. That's why we raise our children not to be quiet, but to be brave. We don't shrink from the world's pain. We rise with compassion because we know what we're made of. This is not a gathering of fragile spirits. This is a community of luminous souls. Luminous soul, the way I described it earlier. And the sacred lives here among us, next to us. Now, I will close with this. Friends, you are not friends and youth group. Not that you're not my friends youth group, but I really want you to listen. Yes, I can see you. You are not a number. You are not a cog in the wheel. You are not a resume. You are not a term paper. You are not a grade on a chemistry test. You are not a record. You are not what this world has used you for. You are the quiet wonder of the universe, shining with a light older than words. You are the cosmos made conscious, Carl Sagan, thank you, Carl Sagan, a flicker of the mystery in motion. You are infinite, not someday, not after some kind of enlightenment experience, but already. You have work to do. You have beauty to give. So may you step into the world upright and unafraid, not as if you aren't already upright and unafraid. I know you are. Carrying the light that is already yours, not with arrogance, but with remembrance, May you go forth into the world not with fear, but with a firm grasp on the inner volcanic fire we heard about on Palm Sunday that is within each of you. Let us be the people who live as if Emerson might be right. He might be right. Let us be the church, the revolution that calls forth the infinite in each other, and let us with joy and courage help remake the world together. Yes? May it be so.